There are questions that sound simple until you actually sit with them. Who are you? Not your name, not your job, not your role. Who are you? Actually, in the larger story, in the bigger picture, what does your life amount to when you see it against everything else that exists? Most of us don't ask that question on purpose. It tends to arrive uninvited, on a clear night when the sky is doing something, or in a hospital waiting room, or in one of those quiet moments where the noise stops long enough for something to honestly surface. And when it arrives, it doesn't feel like a casual question. It feels like the question. Psalm 8, it doesn't avoid it. It walks straight through it, and what it finds there is not what you might expect. Let's read Psalm 8. Psalm 8, how majestic is your name. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory above the heavens from the mouths of children and infants. You have ordained praises on account of your adversaries, to silence your enemies in anger. When I behold your heavens and the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place. What is man that you are mindful of him, or the son of man that you care for him? You made him a little lower than the angels. You crowned him with glory and honor. You made him ruler of the works of your hands. You have placed everything under his feet. All the sheep and the ox, and even the beast of the field, the birds of the air and the fish of the sea, all swim to the path of the sea. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. Notice where the psalm begins and where it ends. The same line, word for word. Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. That's not an accident. That's framing. Everything in between, the heavens, the stars, the questions, the answers, all of it sits inside that frame. It begins with the worship and it ends with worship. And whatever the psalm does in the middle, it never loses its center of gravity. That matters because what happens in the middle is genuinely disorienting if you let it be. Think of verse 3. When I consider your heavens and the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place. David's not looking at a screen. He's outside. It's night. And he's doing what almost nobody does anymore. He actually looks up. And what he sees produces not wonder at first, but a question. What is mankind that you are mindful of them? That's an honest question. Because if you've ever stood somewhere that's genuinely dark and quiet and looked at what is actually above you, you felt it. The sudden smallness, the strange irrelevance of everything you were worried about an hour ago. The universe, it's not scaled to human beings. And yet, verse 5 is where the psalm does something unexpected. You have made them a little lower than the angels and crowned them with glory and honor. After the vastness and after the stars and after the questions of why God would bother. Crowned, not tolerated, not barely noticed, not permitted to exist on the margins, but something much more important. Crowned. The Hebrew word for angels here is Elohim, which most literally means God or divine beings. There's a real debate amongst scholars on how do you translate it, but the point is the same either way. Human beings are not an afterthought in creation. They are the point of it, which does not make us larger. It makes us strangely, unexpectedly, almost uncomfortably significant. And the psalm holds both of those at the same time. Small and significant, finite and crowned, dust and glory. The tension is not a contradiction to resolve. It's the truth for us to live inside of. In the comments below, let me know, when was the last time something made you feel genuinely small in a good way. Here is something that changes how you read the psalm. The writer of Hebrews quotes Psalm 8 directly and applies it not to the humans in general, but to Jesus. What is mankind that you are mindful of them? You crown them with glory and honor. The argument in Hebrews 2 is that the psalm was always pointing somewhere. That full weight of it, that glory, the honor, the dominion, could not ultimately rest in ordinary human beings because we've not lived up to it. We were made for something, and we have not been able to sustain it on our own. But then we do see Jesus. That's the phrase right there in Hebrews 2:9. The one who took on flesh, who became a little lower than the angels, was crowned not with earthly glory first, but with a crown of thorns, and then raised and seated above everything. Psalm 8 is not just a poem about stargazing. It is a signpost pointed towards the one who is what humanity was always meant to be. And that means when you read it, you're not just reading about yourself, you're reading about Him and what He has done to restore what was lost. So here's where this lands. Most of us live somewhere between two wrong answers to the question of, who are you? The first wrong answer is, you are more important than you think. You are the sinner. The story, it's all about you. Your comforts, your preferences, your fulfillment. That's the point. The second wrong answer is, you are less important than you think. You are small, insignificant, one person amongst billions in a pale blue dot in an unremarkable corner of the universe. Nothing that you do ultimately matters. Psalm 8, it refuses both of those. It says, you are small enough to be humbled, and you are loved enough to be crowned. Both are true at the same time, without canceling each other out. And that posture that it produces, the posture of someone who knows that they are small and known, finite and significant, is worshipped. Not performance, not guilt, not striving, but worship, which is exactly where this psalm begins and exactly where it ends. If you're in a season where you've lost a sense of your own significance, where things have happened that have made you feel small in the wrong way, unseen, overlooked, Psalm 8 is telling you to think more of yourself. It's pointing you towards the one who is mindful of you, who sets the stars in place, and yet He still knows your name. Also, what do you think of this series? This is not a small thing. This is the whole thing.